You have to work hard to learn how to recognize those sounds. So maybe you hear human voices, but you can't tell what the words are.
The children that I know that have been implanted are still in a deaf classroom. They have not been placed into a hearing classroom. They're still deaf.
Why would you want to perform the implant? In hopes that a person would become able to hear and therefore maybe reduce the cost of the hearing loss to society, and that's a general view that the community has. And if money is spent on the implant, then money won't have to be spent on services and on special education teachers, and all of those things would be eliminated so that everyone would be the same. But we're finding that people with implants are equivalent to hard of hearing or deaf. They still need interpreting services. They still can't function in a crowd like I can't, and they still need interpreting services. Television is still very difficult to follow. They can't listen comfortably to any conversation. They can't talk to anybody on the phone. All these things that they can't do. And so we'd still have to keep special education teachers. We'd still have to keep interpreting services and all these other things, plus the exorbitant cost of the implant, with it costing upwards from $10,000 to $25,000 per individual, as compared with maybe $600 for the hearing aid.
If I go for an appendix operation, I have confidence that it's going to be a good operation, a successful one, and that's what I pay for, that I get well. But with the cochlear implant, there is no guarantee that what I pay for is what I'm going to get. The focus is first on what danger there was from the surgery, and second, from the false impression given to the world at large about the success of the cochlear implant, and those are the two most important things, I think. The ad hoc committee findings seem to suggest that the best course of action is to stop or to slow down the medical procedure in relation to the cochlear implant, and these are some of the reasons.
Now, what happens to people who started with a single electrode? They had it surgically implanted and then maybe later wanted to upgrade so they would go through the surgical process again. How many times can you do this in the name of experimentation? And we're real concerned with this kind of attitude because there's so many people involved. What if a doctor decided that, well, one channel wasn't good enough, they wanted to add more channels? How many people who've already had the surgery would be told, oh, we're sorry, we'd like to do another operation on you? And we just have so many concerns about that, as opposed to the ease of replacing a hearing aid. I have a story about my mother, when she was younger, had a large box hearing aid model that was strapped on her leg. That was, 50 years ago. And when I was a child, I had the body model, which is a box that was strapped to my chest. And later they had the all-in-the-ear model. And I've upgraded through the generations of improved hearing aids that had more power. And each one has a little more power than the one previously. But what if originally these boxes had been implanted, like in my mother's leg? Would you go through this whole process surgically? And we just feel so nervous about the whole issue of surgery and upgrading in terms of technology. And we have questions about this. What kind of implications does this have on the physiology?
Well, there's another organization, the American Speech, Hearing, and Language Association, the ASHLA. They have had their ad hoc committee who got together to investigate the issue. And the issues they found and the GLAD position paper really basically were the same. Well, there was 5% difference, and that's where they were concerned with the children, benefit of hearing aid, why the implant was expensive and all of that. But one of their points really was, if a hearing aid can help, fine, then the implant's not necessary. If a hearing aid can't help, then you have the implant as a second choice. Ours was not really meaning that if a hearing aid won't work, you have an implant as a second choice. No, being deaf is okay. You can have a perfect life and be productive.
Concerned with proceeding with this implanting of children who didn't meet the criteria, one issue that we were concerned about was the high cost at $20,000 or more. And would we be encouraging more and more people to receive the operation in order to bring the cost down? And would we be finding people going through the procedure when it really was not necessary for these purposes. We had many hard questions and very uncomfortable questions, and we found people weren't asking these questions and that we had to.
So the committee has something to say about the quality of the procedure and the honest sharing of information. So let's see what their suggestions are. And mostly from the medical profession, what to expect from them in relationship to the honest approach to the problem of the surgery. And also we want more honesty from them in relationship to the results of the surgery. How many quote-unquote successes have they had? How many failures have they had? What did the implanted person really get from the implant? What was the sound? Is that sound similar to what a hearing person gets, or is it something else, something that they must study and learn how to use with the implant?
We have the levels, the experimental level, the investigative, and then it's approved without restriction. I feel that it should be moved back to the experimental level. As technology improves, well, then you allow 1, 2, or 3 procedures to be done. And you analyze those and look at other technological advancements. Okay? You can't just go on indiscriminately.
Senator Cranston was asked to help enforcing the FDA to withdraw their approval of the one electrode implant. And he passed my letter on to the FDA. We really must do something to protect the consumer. And who is the consumer? That is us, the deaf people. We must protect ourselves, do something to protect ourselves against this very competitive business. And it is a business, and it's very competitive. We must find that protection somewhere or something.
The GLAD Ad Hoc Committee has several recommendations. 1. It's felt that information needs to be set up in various medical offices and clinics about deaf people and deaf culture, not only about the cochlear implant and surgery. The second recommendation is that forums are set up throughout community to discuss and exchange information and experiences regarding the cochlear implant, and again, disseminate this in various medical offices and clinics. Is there more?
More? We must give special attention to the concerns, special concerns of those people involved, and try to contact the parents of young deaf children and contact the parents to give them the proper information. And also, we should link up with the FDA and inform them about the strong resistance of the deaf community to the present practice of implanting young children. Now, this program has raised numerous questions, and unfortunately, we've not been able to answer them all. Some of these issues have raised even more questions than there are answers for. The deaf community has strong concerns, and we've shared them here on this program. Also, the deaf community, you know, is small in number. We are not a large population, and future efforts must be directed towards airing the concerns of the deaf community in relationship to cochlear implants. And we want to inform both the medical community and the hearing community at large that the deaf community has concerns, and even though we're a small number, we know that you will understand, and hopefully you will support us.
Yes, that is true. Another point that was raised in today's program is the issue, is the cochlear implant truly necessary? I was struck most by the image of Megan Williams' little boy when he said to his mother, "I wish you were deaf," instead of saying, "I wish I was hearing." That indicates his thinking very profoundly. maybe we should focus on you and ask you, the deaf people, do you want a cochlear implant?
My son is deaf, and I feel very strongly that it would not be appropriate for him at this time.
For my mother, okay, who is now 72 years old, the answer would be no.
Oh, I would say no.
Well, I wouldn't. Now, no. No, I would not try it now. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed our program, and you see that there are many questions that have come up, and, well, there's many answers too. So now you understand how deaf people feel and what their concerns are. It's important information, and we hope that you understand that the deaf people and the community at large have a lot of life and are full of love. I'm Mel Carter.
And I'm Sharon Carter.